I've been riding on a daydream.
All right, so we're coming in from the west. Most likely you're going to be coming in the opposite direction, but this is the entrance to the campground. And when you first come in, you're going to most likely stop at this gate and get some sort of direction on what to do. So what you'll do with your RV is you'll come in and you'll make a left here. And before you get water or sewage, which is right there, you're going to come down through this area right here, which is all parking, but not for RVs. The RV parking is going to be off to the left. But the check-in that you're wanting to do is straight ahead. So just this route that we're taking right now is what you're going to do with your RV. Now you can see there's some negotiating to be done with people that are parking here. It's going to make it a little bit more difficult, but nonetheless you can do it. Parking for the RVs, they're over here to the left. You're going to park over there and then walk to the office and check in. So we're going to actually park down here because we're going to start looking at the RV sites that are available at the first loop. Now, this is going to be the office off to the right, and there's signs to point there. And during the summer, the camp store is open. However, now that we're into the off season, the camp store is closed. However, a lot of the amenities that were in the camp store have been moved into the office. So whenever you get your check-in, if you're going to be into any of these sites, which are closed again in this time of season, it's going to be sites 1 through 31 are in this direction. So if you're in sites 1 through 31, you're going to be bringing your RV up this road. Now this parking over here, that's public parking. It's not for RVs. I mean, you can see the sign here. It says no RV parking. So once you get up to this area, you can see the gate that's closed. That's where you're going to go to sites 1 through 31. We are currently parked right in this area right here where it's indicated by the little P. So when we go in here, we'll go ahead and take a look at these sites. There's a lot of RV sites. So we're going to kind of walk through them fast, and we're going to point out which ones look to be a little bit more level than others. Some of them might be a little bit questionable as far as how you get into them. Now these aren't marked in the same manner as the other ones. They don't show how long they are or what can fit in here, but you can see this is a water and electric site. It's definitely over 50 foot. It is a relatively wide site, and there is some shade back there, but this is all open. So in the summer, I can imagine this being a pretty hot site. And there is some sort of beach access right there. So going up to the next site, again, limited shade. This is site number 2. Again, they don't have the length on this one. I'm assuming that this is about a 30-foot length at the most, probably closer to 25. However, it is extra wide, so you can park your vehicle next to it.
30.
It's 30? Okay. What's water and electric? Site number 3 is a 30-foot site, even though it's not marked on the post. And we've got water and electric. Shade. There is some shade, not directly overhead, but I'm sure it's going to help on some level. And as far as the width of the apron, looks like it's easy to get into, and you might have room to park your vehicle there. Got a nice shaded area in the back there where you probably put your picnic table during in season. Site number 4, definitely in the shade. It is also 30 foot, water and electric, and as far as the width, I don't know if you get a vehicle maybe on the apron here once the vehicle, your RV's parked, but it'll be kind of tight. The picnic area, everything looks shaded back there. Not a bad site. You're next to the trash, so expect wildlife during the summer. I'm sure this may be a raccoon situation. There is a bathhouse right here. Again, that site relatively close to the trash, is close to the bathhouse, and directly across is a boardwalk that goes to the beach. So we'll walk out to the beach and see how long of a walk it is. This is a steep incline, so wheelchair users, so far so good, but I think at some point we're going to be into sand just like before. There's the rinse off shower. Very nice views as soon as you come around the corner here. Just nothing but ocean. So you got houses that are relatively close. You got a lot of buildings. Another area, a viewing area. And just like before, it turns into sand eventually because it is the beach. But we'll go ahead and go down here so you guys can take a look what it looks like. We are going downhill now. Again, I don't see any challenge for a chair user to get to this point. However, I think once we get a little bit further, we're not going to be able to. Yeah, in this case, there's steps. So after these steps, you have nothing but beach. So it doesn't look like wheelchair accessible is something that can be done from any of these. But if you can navigate those steps with a helper and then have you pushed out onto the beach, you can access the beach that way. So now we're site number 5, and being blue, this is listed as 50 foot. However, it is awful wide and it's all open, and you got the bathhouse all to yourself. Not really. You're gonna have people walking in and out all the time, but very, very big site. Yeah, for kids for sure. They would love this area. And right across the street, of course, again, is the beach access. So let's go around the corner here and check out the next one. Just to let you guys know, as Heidi let me know, all the posts are color coded, and you'll see that the site number, whatever's on it, whatever color it is, green means it's accessible for a 20-footer. If it's pink, it's a 30-footer. If it's blue, it's 50-foot. Now, as you can guess, 20, 30, 50, there's gaps in there. Some of these sites can accommodate a little bit bigger. So just be aware. This is the camp host site. Water and electric for the camp host. Very nice area. Got decent views. Yeah, we are used to Ohio State parks, and the camp host sites are always, well, they're lacking. They don't have sewage. They don't have water, I don't think, either. Not all of them. Ohio's different. Looks like they try to treat their camp hosts pretty good here. Now we have site number 7, and right next to it site number 8, and they're both listed as 50 foot. I guess they're 50 foot, but this
one seems a little small.
Well, they do seem small. I don't know if I could see 50 foot in here. I mean, it would fit, but
this would be good for a site for
people that like each other.
Yep.
So here we have sites 7 and 8. They're both water and electric. They both have their own unique features, but you're definitely going to want to like the person you're next to, because it's just kind of butting up against. And this site here don't have a lot available for picnic area unless you go to the opposite side. So just something to chew on. Let's go a little further. We're getting into a shady area, and we're going down a little bit of a hill, but nothing that you'd have to worry about. So it's definitely very shady down here. I can imagine this being really cool in the summer. And water and electric, this is a 50-foot site, and this one does look long enough to be 50 foot. There's some sort of a house or a business right there, though. There's some houses, looks like some apartments immediately on the other side of the fence. That's kind of different to see. Looks like condos that are back there. You got water and electric, and I don't know if I would like this just because of how it butts up against the public, I guess you can say. Okay, so pink, 10. That means it's a 30-foot site. It is definitely long enough for 30. Water and electric. Looks like that you might be able to do some parking over here potentially. It is on the corner. You have a fire ring, your picnic table, lots of shade. I can't imagine this being hot in the summer. I'd be concerned about mosquitoes a little bit.
That and traffic.
Traffic is right outside. On the other side of this gate is nothing but traffic. So for us, where we live, we don't mind the traffic noise. You might. This is one of the shortest sites that I've seen that's available for an RV. This is a 20-foot site. Does look like you might be able to park over here, though it looks a little bit soft. And that area that I thought was a common area is not a common area. That is your picnic table, and that is your fire ring up there. However, very shaded area. So if you got a teardrop or something like that, You'll fit in here nicely, but again, there's traffic right there. That's a 45-mile-per-hour double lane, 2-direction road out there, so be aware. Site number 12, it's
Site be very wet.
it's yeah, looks like a very wet site. This is for a 20-foot water and electric. Again, I'm not going to hash over the traffic, it's still there, but you do have a lot of shade. Here we have site number 13 over here, and it's a blue one, so that means it's 50 foot. It's all paved, it's all concrete here, and very level. It's got a slight decline to it. Water and electric, the traffic's right there, lots of shade, be a nice site. Over here, the same situation. You have a concrete pad, there's a slight rise to it. However, 50 foot water and electric, a decent amount of shade, I guess you could say. And this is all your area up until about right here. And that's about it, because this starts site number 15. Even though 15's also listed for 50 foot, I don't know if you could get 50 foot in here, because right next to it is 14. And 14, that's a 20-foot site. So that's kind of wrapping around this corner. That's why they're saying it's only a 20 foot, because you have to back your RV around this little bit of a corner. And you have plenty of parking for a 20-footer. You have lots of shade, but you're going to be kind of sharing your entrance to your campsite with the 50-footers that might be parked here. So kind of unique, but I'm glad that they're utilizing the space and giving the ability for somebody to come back and camp. Site number 17, that one is listed as 20 foot. It's got a very steep incline, so good luck with that. There is water and electric down there. You'd have to negotiate this tree. It's definitely doable. However, you got to get creative. You better have a pretty decent RV to do so. Maybe a van situation. But lots of shade. But again, traffic. So now we're on site number 18. This one is 30 foot. However, it's, well, I guess 30 foot. Again, you've got lots of shade. I would imagine in the summer, these were really desirable in the heat of the summer. Water and electric, and just a large area to deal with. Although this is part of the next site. We're gonna look over here, 20. This is a 20-foot site. Again, not necessarily level, but there is water and electric back there. I think what you'll end up doing, it's awful wide. You can park side by side here. Once you get parked, your vehicle will go next to you, and you'd run hoses down and cords down to that. Here, site number 19 is also 20 foot, also wide enough you might be able to park your vehicle, but again, quite a steep angle. I mean, I couldn't level our RV there, there's no doubt about it, but I'm also over 20 feet. So a little bit further, site number 21. 21's listed for a 20-footer, and it's up on a hill. You're going up a hill. Again, leveling would be challenging. Water and electric, lots of shade. You might be able to just park your RV down here, your vehicle over here, run your water supply and your electric up there. Site to our right is 23, kind of going backwards here. 23 is a concrete pad. It looks relatively level. It looks actually very level. Water and electric, of course, 23 listed as 50 foot. I imagine that. I don't know about parking your vehicle though. Lots of shade. 22, huge site. One of the best sites underneath all these trees I've seen. Listed for 50 foot. It's a concrete pad. There's a slight rise to it. Water and electric, but look at all the shade, look at all the room, and you have a path that'll take you right over to where you could get to the bathhouse and the boardwalk relatively easy. Another great site. So if you guys are looking for a really good site, 22 again. Next one after that, 24. This is a 20-foot site. The 20-foot site is on a hill, water and electric, lots of shade. Definitely a leveling challenge though. Very short site, 25, listed for a 20-footer, water and electric, relatively level, easier to level here, I should say. Lots of shade again, tons of shade, traffic. Right across from that is site number 26, another 20-foot, and this one looks, I'll be honest with you, kind of like a nightmare. Because I'm seeing roots sticking up. I can't imagine trying to get this thing level. I don't know where you'd park your vehicle necessarily. Water and electric's there. I just don't know. I'm not sure about that one. Site number 27 looks very level. Water and electric, 20-foot site, not very wide. Looks like one of these that I wouldn't mind doing just overnight. But again, our RV's too big for that. Okay, let's go up a little bit further. I see another 50-footer up here. Site number 28. This is listed for a 30-footer. You're not to walk through that area because it's sensitive. That's what that stop sign means. Water and electric, and the site is pretty decent. Believe it or not, I know that this probably appears kind of weird on camera, but kind of sunny, kind of shady. Looks like that you could pull your RV in this way. That's what I would do. And then the leveling would be a little bit of a challenge, but once you get up so far, it might be okay. Your picnic table and your fire ring's kind of underneath those trees, and you have plenty of parking for yourself. I kind of like this site. It's not a bad site. All right, right across the street from that one is 29. The marker's on the road so you can see it before you get to it. This is a 50-foot site. The problem, again, traffic, but very level site. You could park next to it. Your fire ring and pits on its own. Everything looks really open and easily accessible. Not bad at all. Here's 30. This is a 20-foot site. It's on an incline. It would be a little challenge to level here, but not crazy, not like some of those other ones. Water and electric, pretty decent amount of shade, and looks like your picnic table can be placed pretty much anywhere you want. Parking for a vehicle, maybe. Yeah, I think you could do that too. Site 31. Now this is only listed for 20-footer, but very level, hard pack, and it looks pretty decent. I don't see anything wrong with this. You butt up against the traffic, but you've got a lot of shade. You've got your own private picnic area back there. Looks very secluded. Of course, water and electric like all the rest. As far as parking, depending on how long you are, I mean, it does say 20, and where you put it at, you might be able to put your vehicle still here. And then this is the exit that takes you right back out towards the office. Once you come back out, let's say you don't go to any of those sites, this is the same place that you came through initially. Again, the RV parking's up front. Okay, so we just passed the RV parking and we're heading toward the other part of the campground. Now off to the left, you can see there's the dump station. Of course, that's open year round whenever the park's open. And there's potable drinking water that's off to the left. And right next to it, you got free air if you need to check the tires of your vehicle or your trailer. And then during the summer, whenever they're in peak season, there's a bus stop for a shuttle there. So you can actually catch a shuttle into town. And it looks like that it runs pretty regularly. So now we're gonna head to the campground, other than what we just saw. And up ahead, you're gonna see a lot of tent sites. There's a lot of tent camping that's in this park that is got really nice coverage as far as the areas. The sites are well canopied for tents. They've got parking for tents, and of course you can see it's dog friendly. There's quite a few dogs here. There is an attendant on duty today, and as far as generator use, it is prohibited. There are no generators to be used here, so bring batteries or plug in if you can do that. Almost all these tent sites, especially this time of year, you've got a lot of pine straw that's down. I'm sure it's real nice and soft. And again, you've got a lot of coverage as far as if you have your tent in the tree line, underneath the trees, you're protected pretty well. It's going to be better than just outright. But some of the tent sites are really nice, and they're kind of like their own little park settings. I'm really impressed by how they stepped up for tent campers here. It must be something that really is really favorable in this area. Of course, the bathhouse, all the bathhouses are pretty much identical. They're all pretty much the same. There's not much to them. There's not a lot that you have to be concerned with inside there. It's just a bathroom and a shower house, and it's relatively clean. It's taken care of pretty well, and we're going to go through quite a few different bathhouse areas. You're going to see basically the same thing as far as what they look like from the outside. The other thing you got to be concerned with is one-way roads. Pay attention to the map because these roads are one-way. Now, the one we're on currently is two-way, but all the ones to the left that take you out to the shoreline, where we're actually camped at, those are all one way, and all the ones connecting to it are one way. So make sure you don't turn down the wrong way. Again, follow the map. It's very clear. Off to the left is a huge loop, all for tent sites, and there's a pavilion there for a group gathering. Again, we're not going to cover too much of the tent sites. It's just there's so many here, I did want to mention them. A lot of these sites that are off to the right, including the ones we saw back there in that loop, anything to the right here, you're going to hear a lot of traffic noise, so just be aware of it, that's all. Off to the right here is a playground for the kiddies. We're going to park here and we're going to do a walkthrough of the campsites that are RV related. Currently we're right here, and you can see this is the loop for all the tent sites that we just came through. These are all tents here. We're going to go this direction here, and we're going to hit some of the RV sites. Again, there's lots of tent sites here. I'm going to point out a couple nice ones, but we're mainly going to focus on the RV sites, which are all the square ones. So you can see all these round ones, those are all tents. The square ones are RVs. So we'll go take a look at those and give you an idea what it looks like out there. All right, we're going to go ahead and head back a little further, and I'm going to jump this. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Whew. Still had it in me. Didn't think I could do that. Very, very, very heavily shaded. Beautiful trees, real nice pine trees. All these pine needles. There's water right across the street here, so you guys can fill up if you're staying in your tent. But again, you got to be concerned about the traffic that's in the back there. And I'm not going to do this for all the tent sites, but I'm kind of interested what it looks like back here. This is very park-like. Wow, is it nice. This is very, very nice back here. It is so pleasant. This is a very good tent site. I'd be concerned about mosquitoes potentially, but that's part of camping. Wow. Look at all this area. This is pretty much sort of kind of all your area. Wow. This looks like Hansel and Gretel's trail. Okay, here we go. 20 foot water and electric, site number 89. And it's very secluded back there. Looks like there's plenty of parking off to the side. It is raised. It's kind of unlevel, but it's flat. It's just unlevel. Not bad. Here's another 20 footer. Site number 90. A lot of shade. As far as parking, again, water and electric's back there. But as far as parking, yeah, you could park your vehicle here. I'm not sure. You got water points here that you got to be concerned with somehow. Looks like you can drive over them and everything. Just they're there. Lots of shade though. Another 20 foot site. Site number 91. And this is a very short site. Looks like you would come in and park at an angle to get your 20 footer in here. Water and electric. Your roof. You're going to have to be concerned about that a little bit. I mean, those are low hanging. And you have your picnic table, fire ring back there in the wooded area. So a little bit further, we got site number 92. That's also 20 foot. And then there's site number 93 across the street. That's 20 foot. We'll go ahead and look at 92 first. The trees do hang down quite a bit. Most of your 20 footers are short anyways. Water and electric, a lot of shade. Your picnic table and fire rings up there. That's very nice. And then over here, water and electric. You've got more height that you can deal with. And as far as your RV length, I think that if push came to shove, you could get a 30 footer in here if you wanted. But they've got their reasons, so. Site 94, 20 foot. Water at the entrance, again, lots of rain. Shaded, very tall, you don't have to worry about overhangs. Again, I could get a 30 footer in here, no problem. But they have their reasons. I'm not sure what it is, but it's nice back there. It's all shaded. Get your fire ring and picnic table. Yeah, that's very nice. It's very, very pleasant through here. All this stuff is really pleasant. I don't know how to describe it. It's just tranquil, I guess. And there's a lot of seclusion because of all these trees. That's nice. Site number 95. This is listed for 20 foot. Water and electric. The trees do hang down quite a bit. If I was to put our RV in here, I'd expect it to scrape a little bit. Might have my air conditioner in the limbs. It is very wide, so I don't think there's any problem with you having your vehicle parked here. Picnic table and the fire rings over here on the left. We're getting back to where we just walked through, but site number 96 is a 20 footer, and it's water and electric. You've got all the room in the world, and the bathhouse is back there. That's a plus and minus. I'll have to see if there's access to that bathhouse other than walking through your campsite. Doesn't make a difference where I go. It seems like people like to walk through my campsite if they can find a shortcut to get to the bathhouse. Very nice. This is a very nice one. I don't know why this is listed as 20 foot, but there's a lot of trees and it's very tranquil. It's just really nice. All right, so I see a lot of people cutting through for the bathhouse. I really do. Even though you have all this camping area available and this is your campsite, I have tendency to think that everybody's walking through to get up to the shower house, which is right there. If not, this might be one of the best campsites for a RV that's under 30 foot. We'll go around the corner and see. Again, because of the shower house being right there, if you don't want to use your facilities, you got water and electric. You got trash right across the street. That's a do not enter. Obviously, there's people that are going to be driving out this way. Right across the street over here is kind of like a little half loop. It's listed as 20 foot. This is site number 97. Your picnic table and that is back there. You walk through that little area and that's where your picnic area is. That's kind of cool. This is site number 98. This is for a 20 foot also. Not bad. You got one tree you'd have to be concerned with, but you should be able to negotiate that. And again, I see a lot of people walking through this site to get to the shower house. Water and electric, picnic table, shaded, all that's good, but I just think that people might walk through here. I just have that feeling. However, this is officially the entrance to the shower house here. Here's your water access. There's some electric access. And there's the bathhouse. So, with that said, nobody should walk through your campsites for the campsites, you know, this one here and the one prior, but they could. They could potentially. It is very nice. Everything is concrete. You can see wheelchair accessible here. This is all concrete here. That's nice. I'm glad that they do something like that. All right, so now site number 99. This is a 20 footer. Very short. However, it looks like a loop. Looks like one of these that you would drive through. So we'll go ahead and walk through. Lots of roots. Big, huge roots here. These roots are even crazier than those. You would definitely have to be careful once you get yourself parked in here. You've got your picnic table and your fire ring up on the hill back there. And again, if you drive through here, your RV is going to be most likely parked on these roots. So I don't know how you want to handle that. Other than that, I like it. It looks like it's well shaded. And over here's the camp host. Again, the camp host has water and electric and a very big site. Pretty level, very large, good shade. So a little bit further along, we're coming back up onto the road that we just walked through earlier. This is a 20-foot site. It's a back end and water and electric. No trees to be concerned with overhead. You do have a stump or something going on there. And, well, there's some limbs down, no big deal there. Picnic table, fire ring out in the distance. Again, site 101. And then site 102, 20 foot. Again, we saw that from this road that we walked through. very short back end, and don't know if you can get your awning out if you have a 20-footer with an awning, but nice nonetheless. These are all pretty decent sites. They're wooded sites. They're like real sites. They're not manufactured. I mean, they came in here and basically made sites out of a forest instead of building a forest around sites. If you've got an RV and you're going to be checking into sites number 137 through 205, you're going to be all the way out here. You can see there's a sign, U.S. government property, no trespassing, and they've got some serious fence up there. I don't think you're going to be climbing it. So you'll be dragging your RV down this loop for these sites that are down here. And first one we're coming up on is site number 137. This is a 20-foot site. And looks like you could potentially park right here if you needed to be. The backing in these sites, it'll be tight. I mean, you got a 20-footer, you shouldn't have an issue, but you'd have to worry about this tree cutting your truck or whatever to get it back there. It's kind of different there. Water and electric, obviously. There's your picnic table. Lots of shade from the sun at this time of year, but I don't know about in the summer. Another 20-foot site, 138. This tree is unique. I don't know if you'll get a lot of shade from it, but looks like you could park your vehicle. You got standing water. We've had lots of rain here. I don't know if this will necessarily be here. There's a path that comes up through there. I'm not sure if that helps you get to the bathhouse or not. Water and electric. Site number 139. This is for a 20-footer. This is a relatively short site, like you would expect. I could get our RV in here, definitely. As far as parking my truck, maybe. And then camping room, yeah, I could get our RV in here. I could do this. Our RV, just to let you know, we have a 22-foot box. It's basically 25-foot overall length. 140, just like the rest, listed as a 20-foot site. And you have water and electric. Lots of shade. The trees are pretty high. They're plenty high. I could get our RV in here. I could get it in here, and I would have room for parking. And as far as your picnic table and fire ring, this is a very nice site. You have all that back there. That's really all yours for this site. Very nice. This is very pleasant. Now, there's a lot of standing water back there. There's standing water down here, so I don't know if mosquitoes would be an issue, if it'd be a rainy season, but this is a very good site to be at. Again, other than your view is obstructed by fence. All right, so we're coming up on site 141. This is a 30-foot site. The first 30-foot site we've seen in this loop. And it's definitely long enough, easy to get into. Looks very accessible. Looks like you might be able to park your vehicle potentially. But it is a strange site. Your recreation area is basically behind your RV. As far as putting out an awning, maybe not, but really, do you need to? You got all these beautiful trees that are kind of covering it, so I don't think that you need to. As far as pulling out or getting in, looks like it's kind of soft sand here with some gravel to help out, so you should be able to get in no problem. All right, 50-foot site number 142. Looks like it's easy to park in. Looks very wide. Sure, you could get your vehicle parked here once you got parked yourself, and then your picnic table would normally be up on the other side. And not a lot of recreation area on this one. I'm not sure what this utility shed is, but water and electric, obviously. Right across the street, though, you have site number 143, and I like this one a lot. It's listed as a 50-foot site. It is definitely a drive-through loop site. You do not have to back in. You just have to make sure that you come in and swing it to get yourself lined up. They got the concrete posts there to make sure you do just that without damaging their water or electric. And then this is going to be your camp area. You should be able to get your awning out. Not a lot of protection as far as sun's concerned when the sun's directly overhead, but you will get shade in the morning hours and the evening. Very nice. Not sure what this little area is, but kind of cleared out for you if you want to use it. Now coming out of that loop there, here's site 144. This is a 20-foot site. Very short site. Water and electric. Looks like you can park your vehicle next to your RV. You definitely have to have a short RV, like I said, 20 foot in that case. Site number 145. This is a 30-foot site. Very easy to back end. It's at a great angle to the road. Looks like that you might have room to park your vehicle potentially once the RV's in place. And then your picnic fire ring is up underneath this canopy of trees. Of course, water and electric. Kind of a nice site. Site 146, this is a 50-foot site. Somebody bumped the post there. It is a great angle to back in. You have enough room, I think, that you should be able to park your pull vehicle, your tow vehicle, up in this area here. It's very tight, though. You're going to have to be creative if you've got a long RV. Make sure you get your truck in, especially if you have a dually or something. Your picnic table fire ring, and there's a warning sign not to walk through this area, and you can see there's some yurts back here. So as far as privacy, I don't know if somebody's looking down on you, if that's even a thing. Maybe a little paranoia. Water and electric and a little bit of wood there you can kind of hide yourself in if you want to. Next site after that is 147, 20-foot site. Sandy. Except this part here, it looks like it's actually concrete and or asphalt, I should say. It's a short site, canopy of trees, water and electric. Looks like you should be able to park your vehicle out in front here. I could get our RV in here as long as we didn't go too far back and bump the trees. This here is all for the bathhouse. Except it says service vehicle parking only. They just don't want you to park up here necessarily, you know, overnight or anything. So another bathhouse. You've got all your trash here, and then
They're brand new. They're not even done.
right across the street they're building yurts. You can see all the lumber that's going on back there. That is really cool. Of course, we can't get back there because
I walked almost all the way.
Heidi went up there and was stealing wood, she said. No, I'm kidding. So anyways, they're building yurts, so I don't know how that's going to affect you guys camping here and what you feel about that, but it's nice that they're giving you some rental options. Coming just up the way from the first yurt there that we saw. Site number 148, this is a 50-foot site. It looks like that it's easily back in accessible because of the angle it is to the road. You do have some overhang here for the trees. I think, yeah, your RV will be fine to clear that. Should be able to put out your awning. You might even be able to put your tow vehicle potentially at an angle. A lot of woods, water and electric, of course. You got some shade here, different times of the day. And then your picnic table out there in the woods, just behind where your RV parks. That's a very nice site. Site number 149, this is a 20-foot site. Looks like they've got hard pack going on here, sand and rock. Looks relatively level. There is a little bit of a slope down. Picnic table, water and electric. Plenty of trees on either side, but not overhead. This is a very nice site for a shorter RV. I could fit our RV in here and be happy. I could also park my truck here on the edge of the road. Wouldn't be too bad. All right, site 150. This is a tent site, but looks like that they're building yurts here. I think what they're doing is they're potentially getting rid of some of these tent sites, and they're going to be yurt sites, from what I can tell. So that's going to be nice. I think that yurts are a popular item. You can camp in them longer than you can tents, so that'll keep the season going longer. So that's really nice. Right across the street, site number 151. That's a 50-foot site, and a huge canopy of trees, all very tall. Your RV will clear easily. You're going to get full shade summer, morning or late in the evening. You got your picnic table. This is a good site, water and electric. I'm impressed by this one. This is easily able to back into, and looks like you got enough room. You should be able to put your vehicle there, even if you just pull it in a little bit sideways. Site number 152. This is a 20-foot site. Easily able to back into. Looks relatively level with a slight slope down. Lots of trees, lots of shade. In the heat of the summer, this is one that you're definitely going to want. I would have to say this is probably one of the better ones for shade and having a level site. And right across the street from that site, you're going to see there's a boardwalk. And we're going to go ahead and see where that takes us. Well, we know where it takes us. It takes us to the beach, but we're going to show you what the access looks like getting there. Anybody over 5'7", you're ducking here easily. Anybody over 6 foot, you're going to duck there. Heidi doesn't have to duck for any of those. Very nice park environment. Reminds you of theme parks and stuff when you go through these areas. Here's your shower rinse off area once you come back from the beach. Even though there's hardly any wind, once we get up here a little further, you guys are going to hear a lot of wind because I'm filming this on my phone as my action cam with the wind buffer. The batteries run out. There's a view of one of the yurts. Actually, you can see two of the yurts. Kind of a winding area. As far as a wheelchair, so far I can see you getting all this way. Here comes the wind. You can see ships out on the water. Another seating area. Actually, you can see more yurts. There's a third yurt there. Go ahead and turn you around and let you see that. So all three of those are yurts. Again, sorry about the wind. I don't have a buffer on this one. And you can see, I'm not going to go any further. You're going to end up in the sand, and you still have to traverse all that sand to get down to the waterfront. Great views though. Very nice views from here. Well, as we're heading back, I see there's a yurt over there. So let the construction continue. All right, as you can see, again, this tree's really low. Duck your head. And this one's even lower. Duck your head. They'll probably cut those at some point. All right, so here's a couple sites back in this little loop. This is all just these two sites, 153 and 154. They're both 20-foot sites. They're both relatively level. They're both on hard pack. That one more than the other. And as far as your picnic table and that, it's back there underneath the trees. This is a very nice site. You got full sunshine here. Over here you got a little bit more shade, and you've got a larger area. It looks like it's sloped down slightly, but easily you're able to level this. And then you can see the trash here, and that's the road that goes to the tent sites that we cut out of this whole little review. So we're going to go back down here to the corner and start up this way. Site 155. This is a 50-foot site. Looks like it's very easy to back into. Again, you might be able to park your vehicle crooked here whenever you get done parking your rig. Water and electric, and your picnic area is a little bit smaller. I would assume that it's probably going to be behind your RV, sort of, unless you want to put your picnic table in front of your RV, which you can do that. That's probably what we would do. But you can see you kind of share with that 20-foot site that I just talked about. That was pretty nice, except for intimacy, as far as trying to keep yourself distance from others. Some people like that. So we're coming up here on site 156. This is a 30-foot site, water and electric. If you look off in the distance, you're going to see your boardwalk that we were just on. That's going to take away from your privacy a little bit. You might hear people talking all times of day, going back and forth. The site, though, itself, very level, a little bit of slope up. It's a hard pack, and you should have enough room to park your vehicle next to it once you get back far enough. But it is a relatively narrow site if you're trying to get your vehicle in there too. All right, this site here is 157, directly across from the one we were talking about there, and is a 50-foot site. This one here has a good enough cut to it. You should be able to get your rig in, but it is going to be a tight cut if you have a long tow vehicle and you have a long rig. Water and electric, a lot of sun, your picnic table there. Not a bad site. You should be able to pull your vehicle out here somewhere, depending on how long it is and how much you have left. You should be able to get your vehicle and park out here still. Right across from that, site 158. This is another 50-footer, and that one is very sandy the further you get back. So expect to have your RV in the sand, your picnic tables in the sand, and your fire rings in the sand. This is all hard pack here. Water and electric. Again, I think there's plenty of room for a vehicle here, even with some of the longest rigs, so I don't think that's an issue, unless you have a problem with that sand. Site number 159, directly across from it, that's a 30-foot site. Very easy to back in. This is all sunshine. There is no shade whatsoever here, unless you want to spend all your time back there. Water and electric, plenty of room, I think, to park your vehicle once your rig is set up. However, not a lot of privacy because you've got your bathhouse right here without any foliage or anything breaking the sight line or any kind of sound that may come from people going in and out of the bathhouse. All these bathhouses here are pretty much the same. They are kind of cookie cutter. They're very nice, built very well. So I don't have any problems with the bathhouses, except traffic. You're going to hear it. You're going to see it. So better be friendly. Dumpster, that's nice. Right across the way, some kind of a sewage treatment, water treatment, high voltage. And then it looks like some kind of a path maybe to go to the beach. I don't know about that though. Lots of standing water because we've had rain. Not a big deal. Probably won't be here when you come here. All right, here we are. Site 160. This is a 30-foot site. You have some sort of a power shed thing here. Not a big deal because it kind of offers privacy. You've got overhang canopy of trees, so there's going to be a substantial amount of shade here, but direct sun overhead, you're still going to get sun. Then you've got water and electric. Here's your picnic table, your fire rings back a little bit. Looks like you have a little bit of an area to enjoy, but again, I don't know if you can see through there. You can see the bathhouse back there, so you're going to, again, get noise and potentially have people in and out that some people have issue with. Directly across the street is site 161. This is a 50-foot site. As far as its width, it's not extremely wide. You do have a level ground for the most part. The sand is not very deep here. There's a lot of hard pack involved. Water and electric in the corner. Your picnic table and fire ring are off to this side. And I think that you should be able to get your vehicle in this area here once you get your rig set up. So might not be a bad situation, except full sun. I don't see much shade going on here. Site number 162. It's a 20-foot site. Looks like it's heavy sand. It's relatively level, and it is relatively wide. As far as your picnic and fire ring, you can see kind of a tight area, but it looks like you might be able to access something back there potentially, but don't quote me on that. That looks like it's a little bit deep, so plan on your picnic table being really close. And then here's a yurt that's going up. That's really nice. They have been doing quite a bit of upgrades here, and I think that probably was a tent site of some kind at one point, but those yurts are a nice change. Right across from that yurt, 163. That's a 20-foot site, and it is a little pad, but it looks like it's a hard pack pad. It is very level, and it looks like you should be able to park your vehicle here once you get your rigged park. Water and electric, your fire pit, and your picnic tables underneath that canopy of trees. So very quaint, very nice. Again, though, as far as having privacy, you're going to see the site next to you a little bit. That brings us to site 164. This is a 30-foot site. Again, hard packed sand, very level, good, nice entrance for parking. Very wide. You should be able to get your vehicle parked in here a couple different ways. It's a short site though. You can see the fire pit, your picnic table, water and electric. It's all confined here. There's really nothing back that way other than just walking that you can actually use for camping. Across from that, site number 165, this is a 50-foot site. This is a hard pack site. I don't see hardly any soft stand whatsoever. Your picnic table's there. Your fire ring, I believe, is back this way a little bit. Water and electric, like I said. And as far as parking your rig, once you get backed in here, which is a very easy angle of entry, you should have plenty of room to pull your tow vehicle and still have parking and room for that. You might even be able to just pull it directly in here because that's an awful long length. But you can see the angle of entry. Holy cow. Anybody can back into that. So here's site 166. This is a 50-foot site, and I can't believe that you could not get to this one and back into this one because it's straight off the road. So once you come around that loop and you start down the road, you can back directly in. It's an extremely wide site. It is a pretty long site. Your picnic table and fire rings over there. Plenty of room for parking. I don't see any issues here except for the fact that if you look, you can see the gray electric box from the site that we were just talking about. Not the big long one, but that one there. So you may want to be neighbors here, friendly neighbors. And you've got a lot of traffic coming this way, and you've got a lot of traffic that's going to be coming this way too. So you're going to be seeing a lot of cars if you're in this site. Not a big deal, but still it's something you should be aware of. All right, so what I did instead of continue on that way is I wanted to come up this way and show you this site. It's 170. This is a 20-foot site. It's relatively level. It is a hard pack site. Water and electric right there. And as far as your picnic table and fire ring, you've got right there, but you're real close to this neighbor. You're butted right up against them. As far as parking, once your rig's in there, you know, a 20-footer might not be an issue because you do have a shorter tow vehicle most likely you can pull right here. And again, that's across from this 50-foot site here. It's kind of in this junction, so you're going to see a lot of traffic, just to be aware. Some people don't like that either. Site number 171, that's a 50-foot. And it's a slight incline. You've got some sand back there, not overly deep sand, but there is sand. It's a relatively wide. You should be able to get your tow vehicle parked once you've got your rig set up. Fire ring and picnic tables over here. Water and electric. Some limited shade, of course, depending part of the day it is. Overhead sun's going to be direct on you though. And again, lots of traffic coming. Right across the street, site number 172. This is a 50-foot site. Looks like it's easily able to be backed into. However, you're going to have to be friends with your neighbors because they're going to be up there on the hill watching you. Water and electric and your fire pit and your picnic tables right there. Plenty of parking though, just to let you know. These are the kind of campers I would expect to see in these sites. 20-foot site number 173, water and electric. And again, you can see what that looks like as far as the trees that are up above, clearing that, and then parking. Once you get your rig stopped, set up, then your water and electric, and the picnic table out there in the woods. It's very nice. Here's site 175. It's a 30-foot site. This is a loop just like ours. 174 is a 20-foot site. Deep sand, double parking, water and electric, just like the rest, and pretty secluded, but full sun in the summer. And that one there looks like it would be offering shade. Now in heavy rain, we came through here last night and there was well over a foot of water here for quite some distance, so be aware in the heavy rain you might have a water issue here. But this is a pull-through site. That's kind of nice. All right, on to site number 176 is a 30-foot site. This is easily backed in. You have full sun during the day there, the peak of the day. And as far as seclusion, looks pretty decent there. Across from that, site number 177, it's a 50-foot site. This site is plenty long enough, plenty wide enough, and relatively secluded. This looks like a very good site. This is probably one of the better sites that I've seen. Hard pack, very level, water and electric, and plenty of room to enjoy. Across the street is 178. That's a 50-foot site. Looks like it's a slight incline to get up in there, and it does slope a little bit to your left, the view that we have now. Fire pit way in the back, picnic table, water and electric, and your rig parking is going to be kind of on a drop off here, just to let you know. And then site 180, 30-foot site, sandy. Again, you can see plenty of parking for your rig once you're backed in there. Full sun, no shade whatsoever. And then site 179, 30-foot site. This is a loop site and easily accessible to pull in. Plenty of room for your rig once you get in here, and full sunshine. So in the summer, don't expect this site being a very cool site. This is also our site, so we can go into detail a little bit more about this one. You can see that there's access to the beach that's direct through these trees here. You do have to go up and down a couple of areas. Plenty of room for the awning to come out, and once you're over here though, there is plenty of shade, but again, I would expect not so much in the summer when the sun's up ahead, so just be aware. All right, so leaving our campsite here, you can see we've got a pull-through site. And this site specific, you need to get online, read what that means. But 50 foot, I can imagine that's about right here. Yeah, definitely. Now this site was flooded whenever it rained really hard. I mean, they did have flood watches out. Here's another pull-through site, and it's 30 foot. And as odd as it looks, I mean, it kind of makes sense. This is the road that we're currently on, and that's a site. However, when you're driving up the road, it looks like that's a shortcut, but it's not. Hence the sign that tells you it's not a shortcut. That one there looks like there's some deep sand to be involved there, but looks like they got their RV in there okay. So we'll go a little bit further here around the corner, and again, a lot of these, you can see there could be a little path like this, and if you follow that path, although it's a bit of a walk, it will take you to the beach eventually. Or you could just follow the road here around the corner, and there's a boardwalk that'll take you out.
Looks like a nice site. Oh, it's a camp host.
Oh, yeah, it sure is. It's a camp host site. Looks like they have a really nice site. Although I don't see that it's a full hookup.
Can we go this way?
Yeah, we will go that way. Here's a site here that is shaded. It's only 20 foot, but again,
I don't think they have full hookups here.
that one there has electric and water, but they don't have sewer. The camper host, his site, I don't see electricity up there, which I find that odd. Here's another site.
Yeah, there's some electricity there.
Oh, yeah, she's right. I don't think you guys are going to be able to see it. I'll try to get you out of the sun here. Which don't look like I can get you out of the sun. Anyways, there is electricity there. Here's another 50-foot site. This looks very nice. Now, there's no shade here whatsoever. But it's very open. Rock and sand. And then a path. It looks like a dedicated path. Of course, it's just water and electric there, like all these are. Here's another site that's occupied. Got a puppy dog there.
The trash is.
And it's 50 foot. That's a good, decent amount. It's a small bathhouse. Let's go ahead and check it out, because honestly, I don't think that we've been into just the one bathhouse. The trash is here. Here's the men's restroom. Of reverse flushing toilets, handicap accessible. Everything's very clean, well taken care of. This is an open stall here because it's a stand-up urinal, and then traditional toilets. Then outside here, there's a couple of sinks here, and then you have showers.
The other ones didn't have a divider. It was just an open.
It kind of reminds me of West Branch, but much smaller.
They have a handicap one too. That's the one that doesn't have a divider.
And then I'm assuming that the women's bathroom is right there, which it is. Okay. Here's some parking here.
Archer bathhouse.
And here is to the beach. Let's follow this so you guys can see. The campsites look pretty easily to get around if you were in a chair. And so far, this boardwalk looks pretty decent to do the same. A rinse-off shower. Well, we're not swimming today, so it's only about 49 degrees right now, but the sun is making it feel a lot nicer. Nice views off in the distance. There's a sailboat way off in the distance there. This is a long boardwalk, but so far can be done in a wheelchair. However, I'm seeing sand at the end, so I think this is maybe where it would end. Unless you have one of those beach chairs. I know that we see those wheelchairs that are beach accessible that are big flotation tires. This is pretty much it here. Again, you can see off in the distance the hotels and that, and now we're into sand. So this is an easy way to get to the beach, but I don't think that you're going to be able to do this with a wheelchair. It doesn't look like that's feasible at all. Okay, we're coming up on a site that lists as only 30 foot long, but it looks pretty wide. So if you get an RV in here like ours, you can then park your vehicle, looks like next to it. Yeah, easily. A couple paths again to go back to the beach. And this one is also water and electric. And we have another one here. This one's listed as 50 foot long with plenty of space. And again, water and electric. This one over here is 30 foot long, water and electric. And then this one here in the corner is 20 foot long. I believe this is going to be water and electric also. Definitely got shade. And then a little bit further along, this one is showing that it's 50 foot long. And it is water and electric also. Definitely can handle a 50 footer. And got some limited shade there. Not too bad. This one on this side is 30 foot long. And it's really wide. So 30 foot long, putting a vehicle side by side, not an issue. See, this is one of the reasons we wanted to do this kind of review, because I didn't see any of this stuff online. You know, if I see 30 foot, I think 30 foot, period. Water and electric also. But I could put my RV in here and my truck with no issue. Nice little shaded area there. This points to exit. However, it looks like you, of course, can continue this way. There's an arrow right here. Hard to read, but it's definitely pointing one way.
It's a small site.
Very small site. 20 foot You should still be able to get a vehicle next to your camper. It'll be tight though. It'll be really tight. You want to be able to put up your awning. Water and electric though. Here we have a site that's 50 foot long, easily able to handle 50 foot. And it's water and electric. And it looks like you could potentially park a vehicle next to your camper.
Like
this is a very nice site. 30 foot, water and electric. It's slightly raised, gravel and sand, but not deep. Somebody left their floor mats, what a shame. The picnic area is back there. Not hardly any shade, so maybe not a place you want for the summer. 30 foot, as stated on the pole, water and electric. And another one that if you don't have your awning out, or even if you do have your awning out, you should be able to pull your vehicle in next to it because it's very wide. No shade for the RV, however there's shade back by the picnic table. Again, it's all ocean across here. I don't see any paths though that you can walk to get there through here. Here's a long 50 foot site. Another water and electric. Again, there's quite a few of those here, but I'm sure that they go pretty fast in the summer. Not an extra wide site, but definitely a long site. Limited shade, but still shade nonetheless. This site here looks like full sunshine. It is a 50 foot site. Again, water and electric. And it does look like it's relatively wide also.
Yeah.
So
Go back there a little ways, it looks like.
yeah, 50 foot. You can definitely put 50 foot in here and a vehicle. That's kind of soft over there. It looks like that they mix in gravel with the sand in the area they want you parking. As far as here, there's a sign, and we didn't see any of these signs from our campground, but they have these in Myrtle Beach and a lot of places. It says sensitive area, no trespassing. In Myrtle Beach, they have switchgrass that they want protected, or wheatgrass. I can't remember what they call it. It's some sort of a tall grass that helps with erosion, and if you walk through the area, it tears it up. So we don't have any of this near our site, but be aware, if you see those signs, you're not to walk to the beach through that area, because you're going to destroy vegetation that helps with wildlife and also erosion. All right, so this site here, directly across from it, very short. It's 20 foot. It is pretty wide. I think you should be able to get a car next to it, but the picnic table kind of needs to be out of the way. Water and electric. Yeah, water and electric. Now, there is a path right here, and there's no signs that say you can't take that path, so just to let you know. A little bit further up, we have campsite that caters to 20 foot RVs. Looks like it's pretty heavily shaded, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this is also going to be, like most of them down here, water and electric. Yes, water and electric too. Next campsite listed as 50 foot. Doesn't look as long as the last 50 footer, but it's definitely a long site. It's not as wide as the last one, and there is a sign out there stating the same thing, not to walk out there. Water and electric. So again, be cautious of that. Plus, you don't have to worry about it. The boardwalk's right around the corner here. Okay, so we're back to where we were with the initial look of this RV park, and that is the boardwalk. So that's the main office where you check in. There's other activities that go on during the summer that, of course, not happening at this time of year because it's pretty much off season. That's all the campsites here at First Landing State Park. We breezed over a lot of the tent sites because, again, we wanted to focus on the RV site, show you what it looked like, and hopefully, you watching this video, you can go through and find a site that you might like and check them out. I think that you'll find that there's lots of stuff to do here, and you've got the beach. So that's it for now. Hope to see you out there. Bye.